Ladies and gentlemen.
Pick one. Go ahead, Bill. Go ahead.
Not that the head-crushing thing wasn't. I've never seen Game of Thrones, but I watched that scene just long enough to have my brain go, the loud siren went, look away, as I'm just kind of like, oh, and like reflexively looked away during the moment, and anyone who's seen that show will know precisely what the fuck I mean. But so, there we go. I'm like, where's my fucking gun?
The Yami Destroyer.
God, it's so beautiful. But yeah, like, that point was already bad enough. Then watching it like, oh, he just ragdoll killifies him like that. I'm like, oh, this is going to be like that. Like, it's not just, look how dark and edgy. Oh, man, he crushed his skull. It's like, oh, we're getting, like, incredibly visceral now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that I like this much anymore. Throws the corpse of the Green Lantern one, who can phase in and out of being like a ghost, reflexively catches the Batman one and goes, oh no. Because realizing she got tricked into being corporeal as he punches his fist through her head.
Yeah.
Then uses her dead body as a shield for a fishman's attack. Then uses a mason, blows the top of his head off with it. And it's like, lots of blood and guts and gore and things. And I'm like, well, this is so much more than, like, I came into this expecting, like, it's an adult cartoon kind of thing, like, where they're not going to fuck around so much. And now it's just like, oh, this is like, basically, if you're familiar, there was a comic in the 80s, I think, called Brat Pack, which was basically like, imagine if all of the absolute worst shit happened to, happened to all of the sidekicks in DC. Essentially, like, it wasn't literally those characters, but it was, again, all XPs of those characters.
Yes, yeah.
And there we go. And that one was also incredibly...
What the fuck?
Fuck you. That one was also incredibly uncomfortable. And it just reminded me instantly of that, and I'm just kind of like, oh, I don't... Whoops. That did a good amount of damage, but it leaves him very exposed.
I mean, so the first thing that I thought about when you started, like, describing it was the series The Boys.
I still need to see that. I've heard that that's kind of what I was expecting, sort of, from Invincible, was like, it's going to be an animated version of that, which is like, all right, it's not your dad's comic book thing, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, there'll be dark themes, but it's still going to be... like, bearable.
And there's brutality, and they go into the realm of, like, what happens when a superhero attacks either a very weak superhero or a normal human being. And it's just, like full-on, you know, very, very brutal.
I've seen a quick GIF of, I think it's probably the Homelander, whichever one's the Superman-ish
the
one,
Superman analog.
using some kind of laser vision on an entire crowd of people, basically. Oh, you
what?
fucker. Jesus Christ. Okay, hey.
Can we get a chance here, Yami? Just give us a second.
Come on.
Woo!
Come on. Oop. Here we go.
Don't fire missiles or some dumb shit.
Oh, I still got him.
Good, you did hit him. Oh, Frank.
Don't worry.
Good try, Frank.
That sucks. Come on.
Oh, it's just in a chain of endless.
Fuck, that was
you can't
bullshit.
escape from. Yeah.
I just got super caged in on that.
Yep.
The Boys looks very interesting and looks like more what I'm interested in as far as, like, I would like, not like I'm like, man, comic books are for kids and I hate that. So, like, I'm a big Marvel fan, so, like, I'm totally fine with, like, the lighter
animated fare. That's fine.
But yeah, like, The Boys seems more up my alley in terms of, like, a grittier, realer, edgier sort of take on it versus what would happen if you snapped Wonder Woman's head around 180 and she puked blood on her cape and died.
Yeah. And I think that the whole point of The Boys is it does use that visceral brutality to show the raw power, the, like, how cruel these superhumans are and how, like, little it means for them to, like, end a human instantaneously.
Yeah. It seems like one of the big pieces of the puzzle for The Boys is, like, what would happen essentially if superheroes had absolutely, like, if they were big egomaniacs, basically. Like, if they had no sense of, like, duty over self.
Yeah. And like, not just that, but, like, the varying levels of superhero-dom.
Yeah.
Where, like, Superman is just OP. It's just the fact of the matter is just he's fucking OP.
As much as I'm not a fan of Zack Snyder's work generally, like, you know, Man of Steel, or not Man of Steel, but Batman v Superman at least continues like what Dark Knight Returns did of like raising the question of, yeah, what do you do if Superman goes fucking nuts?
Yep.
Like,
yep.
I guess Suicide Squad kind of teased that idea and then didn't do anything with it. But,
yeah, it didn't really go the full length with it.
But like, that's the thing, right? Is like the question of like, Superman.
How do you stop a god?
Was made overpowered when he was first created. How do you deal with that if he kind of goes nuts? In fact, the Suicide Squad video game is going to play around with that a bit. Where was it? Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. It's actually set in the Arkham universe, which is double interesting. But the idea is, I think Brainiac has brainwashed the entire Justice League, including Superman. So now just these bunch of mostly random normals are going to have to actually take down an evil Superman and an evil Justice League. It's like, all right, that's neat. So, like, it's a cool deconstruction. Invincible feels like one that someone makes when they're 15, and he goes, fuck, how fucking crazy would it be if Superman just cut off that guy's head?
Yeah, and I mean, so there's also something that doesn't transfer perfectly from medium to medium.
Yeah.
This fucking move. But we did get a ton of super gauge.
Yep.
Hyper combo gauge. The thing is that, like, you should be good here. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, damn, I couldn't jump fast enough.
Joe.
He might be dead. Oh, yeah. That's bad. I do have the Mega Man blast.
We get him back, I think.
No, it's the last stage.
Oh, yeah, wait. Yeah, duh. Wait, this is third Yami.
No, come on. Nope. Oh, fuck. Oh, boy. No! Fuck!
Nah.
Really? I couldn't get over him?
The jump timing is opposite on that from the earlier ones.
Well, I was just trying to get over him at that point.
Right, just so he'd miss you.
It's so hard to do that with him. Use your super, you fucker! Holy shit! I cannot get my super. It's driving me crazy here.
That looked like a taunt.
Use your super, you son of a bitch!
Can you do it in the air?
Yes. Fuck it! No! I couldn't get any moves off!
Oh, god damn.
None of my moves were working.
I hate you, Yami.
I'm sitting here slamming on my controller, and he's just like,
I heard
hovering.
every button hit.
Come on, man.
Don't you ...
Why
me.
I don't know why his supers just stopped working. I'm like, quarter circle, quarter circle, quarter circle,
Yeah.
quarter circle.
Yeah, it's a
Sucks.
mystery. Yeah, oh yeah. So I was saying that, like, something that's super brutal and super gory like that doesn't always transfer to a visual medium that well.
The comic I've heard is very popular also, which is part of why it became this.
In the comic, you can craft a panel of one look at, like, somebody staring down at their punched through midsection or something.
Yeah.
And then the next panel is something different. But it's honestly
there we go. First try here.
It's a very different thing to see something that brutal in real time with, like, full animation kind of deal.
Well, not to mention, apparently in the comic they didn't have... For one, I don't know how much of that scene you actually see at all. Mm-hmm. Like, you might just see the aftermath or something. But also, I had read that there was no characterization given to those heroes basically at all. You don't see them rescue anyone. Whereas in this cartoon, there is an entire animated sequence of them saving the White House.
Of them being, like, friendos and helping out the average person or whatever.
And then there's the whole, like, oh, here's what they're doing right before all this shit goes down, which I think was also not in... Fuck, come on, man. There. So I think it was also not in the comics. So, like, the animated series went out of its way to endear you to these characters.
Yeah.
It's
so they could be brutally murdered on screen.
I'm trying to remember. There was some comedy bit that I think it might have even been like a Britannic sketch or like a 5-second films or something. But like, it's like, oh, we're working on and someone in the comments, please let me know, because I cannot for the life of me remember what the thing is that I'm trying to remember here. But it was like, oh, here's we've got this rock right here. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, yeah, and it's fuck you. And like, oh, okay, I want you to take this hammer and break this rock. And you're like, all right, fuck off.
Oh, God damn it, Yami.
I want you to take this hammer and break this rock. And they're like, all right, so they just break the rock. And then it's like, all right, we got another rock for you right here. Oh, why does this one have a smiley face on it? And it's like, oh, it's very happy. It just came home. It just got a big raise, and it's all excited for its little rock. Brings out another rock with a smiling face and two small ones. They're like, all right, here's the wife and kids. They're just kind of, all right, anyway, after they tell the whole story, it's like, now break the rock. And they're like, I don't really want to
do that anymore.
And that's the idea. Is like once you endear someone to them, it's like it's a cheap trick, but it makes you way less willing because now it's kind of a person.
Well, it's got a story. What about those two little rock babies?
And here's your path that ends here. Like, that's the same thing here. Is you get a glimpse of like 7 characters' lives immediately before they're unceremoniously like executed in less than 3 minutes.
And I would have to guess that perhaps the rest of the arc of the story is the son trying to stop the father or figure out why the father has gone completely insane.
I'm sure there's at least some of that. I believe the idea is like I don't know any of this for sure, so like take it with a grain of salt, but the understanding that I have is that his alien race is actually not trying to protect everybody. It's scouting planets to take over.
Oof. Okay.
And so it was a long con the entire time, and his wife and kid were just kind of part of the long con.
I can see how that would upset our hero.
There we go. Oh, fuck you. There it is.
One punch or one kick.
Yeah, Frank. Does mean we get to keep Beautiful Joe for another round, too.
Always forever.
But yeah, I think the idea is
Good job,
like
Francis.
now there's this really ambiguous kind of like, oh, fuck. Now he's trying to take over. But then there's like another alien invasion thing. This is all from the comics more than like, I don't know what's in the show.
What is going on? Frank is just making friends with everybody? Look, it's Zero in the corner.
Yeah. I just showed up. No big deal. You saved reality. We all owe you our deepest thanks. I met someone like you. It's a shame you have to leave. I'm sure we could have been good friends. Everybody loves Frank.
Everybody loves Frank.
Oh, my God.
I hear you, Joe.
Yeah, isn't there something you're all forgetting?
We're going to take a picture together.
Probably, actually.
Or there's going to be zombies.
What are we forgetting? Oh, my God. But yeah, I haven't seen the rest of the show yet. I may go watch the rest of it. I'm just like, that first episode was so much all at once in that last couple minutes. I'm just like, I need a breather from this.
It sounds like it was meant to hook through shock value, but it may also turn off through shock value.
I've heard the rest of the show is less that.
Oh, several days later?
Oh, no.
Maybe it's not a
Gio,
picture.
what happened?
Yeah, we went to sleep for 8 days. Oh, what?
What were you up to? Oh, I beat a god. No big deal.
It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I leave it on my camera so it can accidentally get deleted.
I was
sometime.
about to say, like, print that shit out.
Yeah.
You could say that. If I ever get around to publishing a book.
From some Halloween party? Oh, my God.
That's an amazing Yatterman 2
We don't have
costume.
anime or video games here, so none of these characters make sense.
Nope.
Ultimate All-Stars? It's the Ultimate All-Stars.
So it's
fucking Zero being a goober in the back. Like, hey, guys.
So why...
If we make it out of this... Wait, so is this...
Why Joe the Eagle and June the
There
Swan and... Is Frank West Capcom?
He is Capcom.
Then why all the Tatsunoko characters?
That's a good question. May as well do this. Why not? It's something to do for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just because of the crossover nature, though. But then Zero's there, too, so it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Also, Mega Man exists as a video game in Dead Rising, at least partly.
Yes.
So, I mean, it may not literally be... Actually, no, I think it is literally Mega Man, because I think in Dead Rising, there's a bunch of ads for movies starring Cutman or Zero or something. Like, it's not Mega Man. It's very close to Mega Man. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I've played...
I have no idea, yeah.
Since I played Dead Rising, but that's so weird.
It kind of seems like they were like, we need something for Frank West to do.
Okay, thanks.
Takes a picture with Joe the Eagle and June the Swan.
Yeah.
And I guess Yatterman and why not Zero?
Yeah, we'll just put him there.
Or Yatterman 2 and Zero.
I don't think the letters actually matter for this at all.
What, getting the letters
whoop.
As opposed to the like yellow ones?
The gold ones, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we already got the reward for this anyway, which is if you get them all, you get ultimate all shooters.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just something to do for a minute.
Maybe it has something to do with score. Because I think there is a
or maybe it gets you more Zenny at the end.
Sure.
Oh, you fuck! Oh, we made it. I don't know how.
Everybody fucking pedal harder.
Vertical.
Go Duranjo and Minions.
Yeah, whatever your fucking names were. They have names. I don't fucking care.
Mark and Steve.
Jerry.
Jerry.
Steve Jerry.
Stephen Jerry.
That's his full
That's
name.
His full name. He
Steve
prefers
Jerry.
Please, Mr. Jerry was my father. Call me Stephen Jerry.
Aw, bummer. But yeah, that's my TED Talk on Invincible.
It sounds interesting,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It also sounds like, because I like myself a bit of brutality here or there,
Yeah.
but
I do like deconstructionist, like, media, basically. Like, I'm a big fan of Madoka Magica, which does the same thing. It takes the idea of the magical girl trope, like, genre, and just completely inverts it and horrifies it, where it's like, oh yeah, what if it was a horrible, terrible curse to be a magical girl, and all of the shit that goes on is, like, basically worse than death.
yeah.
And you're in a mental time loop prison of sorts and shit, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, and
that's
I mean,
interesting.
I like brutality, and I also like realism brought to something that is an inherently an unreal concept.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know.
I used to like Heroes a lot because, I mean, compared to shit
Sure.
now, it's very tame. But the idea of
yeah,
taking the superhero aesthetic and instead just being like, yeah, but what if like an office worker realized he could teleport, and like just this guy who was like wrongly imprisoned discovers he can walk through walls,
yeah.
like,
or it's the point of like what happens if people get superpowers who are randos and don't happen to be perfect scions of justice.
yeah, everyone's got their mistakes and errors
Yeah.
and things.
And
the
some
later
people
seasons
are
mess with it,
inherently
but, like,
good. They're nice people, but they don't know exactly how to deal with things of that intensity. Like,
Yeah.
you could be a nice person, but how do you decide who lives and who dies in a crisis situation or something like that? Like,
Not to mention, up until the show got canceled, literally the episode that was the last part of the main show till it got its brief little web revival, superheroes were not a known thing either. So like you kind of have the aspect of like,
they weren't like a mass media thing at that point in time.
yeah. Well, like the idea being
plenty
like
of people have read comic books, but it wasn't like everybody knows about.
Right. Nobody knew that
superheroes
superheroes existed, essentially. It's like, so what do you do if you can fly in a world where superheroes are not a known entity? Where you're like, I have to not...
I thought you were saying at the time when the actual show was released.
Oh, yeah, no.
There wasn't a heavy presence of superheroes. You mean in its own world?
In its own world, like, there are some comic books, and, like, I think they even, joke about, like, Superman and Spider-Man at various points, but,
Sure.
like... The idea being, like, it's not like it's a world of superheroes. They actually go to the future. The first time they go to the future, one of the bad futures comes around. Thunk ow for playing. One of the bad futures comes around in one where everybody has superpowers. And it's a world of people flying around and walking through walls and running around and all this stuff. It's like, all right, that's kind of neat.
And that's the comic Unordinary.
Oh, yeah. Oops. Well, I accidentally named myself Frank West Gallery is now available in the shop. He's a renowned artist.
I was gonna say, is it his photographs or is it his
the camera
photographs
icon has
of
been added
him?
to player settings. Oh, maybe that's for like online play. You have like different icons you can use.
Oh yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, how'd we do?
We beat Alks.
We beat Pla. We beat Roll. Oh, there we are in 11th.
Well, that was only 2 A's. Were you 3 A's or?
I was
Fucking
2 A's.
Ken.
I think we actually got the high score. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think our very first one, we actually made it all the way through without a game over or
Ryu
something.
and Mega Man was, I think, a clean run.
Yeah, which is why our score is literally 10 times what we got here.
Yeah.
But either way, we're gonna come back next time and we'll run through our 5th run with Joe and somebody else.
Hooray, beautiful Joe!
See you then.
Get on it. Get up.
Once again, back is the incredible. Refuse to lose.
Get on it. Get up.
Once again, back is the incredible.